Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? What a week. Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast for our New York Giants, our playoff bound New York Giants. I'm with Jules. He's back. I'm with John. We found Jules last week. He had to skip. I guess he was he didn't want to say the wrong. Well, he didn't want to be associated with me saying the wrong thing, being like Bayless, Skip Bayless. He wanted to take the week off and in regards to Damar Hamlin, but Damar Hamlin got out of the hospital. He's back home in Buffalo. He's still doing tests, but he's back home in Buffalo. So all the prayers worked. Thank God for him. All the prayers worked for me that begging the Giants make the playoffs. That worked. So guys, man, what a good week, man. What a good week.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick though with Hamlin, man, that was just fucking amazing. It's amazing how fast he's recovering. The fact that he's like home in Buffalo. Hats off to him and his family. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick because that's just it really went through the whole entire NFL to see what Jacksonville did and their fan base on Saturday, what Cincinnati had did on Monday. You know, it was just you just can't say enough. Like it was real classy. It was really well done, and you know his charity is flourishing from this, and that's like the best thing you can see. And that he's home and he's feeling good. So
$5 million.
Hats off to that before we get into like all this Giants talk.
And I'm gonna go to John right now. If people are watching on the YouTube channel, John looks like he belongs in like the Game of Thrones right now. He's got a big game.
I got the King's robe on right now.
I
got the King's robe on. This is Daniel Jones's robe. I'm gonna buy him one when he signs his contract.
He's in giant King Landing right now.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited for it, bro. That news about Boomer Esiason came out with yesterday. I mean, listen, we got to recap the Eagles game. Obviously, that's the first order of business because that's what the most recent thing was. But or the thing that we have to get to the most. But yeah, bro, I'm so excited about what's gonna happen this offseason, bro. Just the amount of vindication, the different events that are gonna happen that we're gonna be able to celebrate. As fans of the New York Giants, is gonna be fun. And first and foremost, it was watching our fucking backups go there and fucking run the Eagles basically fucking to a place of embarrassment at this point. Yeah, they got the W, they got the week off and all that shit. Great, no problem. But you had to think, especially the way the game started off, that they were going to run away with a fucking 40-point lead, and they had to run their starters out the entire fucking game. And if one play goes the other way, fucking an onside kick, you never know. They literally could have fucking stalled that game from the Eagles with the backups. Brian Dable did not play a fucking starter, basically more than 2 or 3 snaps the most.
I mean, yeah, listen, you know what? The only thing that was killing me was like, I went into it with zero expectation, saw it went up to be a 16-point spread, saw the way the game started off, and it was like, there was always those little hints of like, oh shit, we might get back into this. Oh shit, we might get back into this. And then we kind of did get back into it. And like the whole time I was like, why am I fucking hyping myself up? I know the end result of this shit. I was like, give me another fucking shot of Jameson, please. So by like 7:30, I was fucking hammered, dude. I couldn't even fucking see straight by like 8 o'clock. I was like, but it was still good. It was worth it. It was good to see certain guys, playing very well. Hats off to McFadden. He coming out there, he really stepped up. I mean, that dude was all over the field. You had Williams. I mean, there was a lot of dudes that literally stepped up against what's supposed to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, and they had all their starters going with the exception. I know, Trey Lance, Lance Johnson's missing for them, and I had a couple other guys missing, whatever. But like for the most part, that's a team that literally took it to us in the Meadowlands or MetLife the other, a couple weeks back, and the fan base, everything, they were fucking rubbing it in on us to see them go out there with all their guys and now go against our backups and not even do anything like remotely similar. It says a lot about where this team is at mentally, and I just hope that with that rest and certain guys getting right and guys getting and being healthy, that we could stay with that focus when we come out on Sunday against the Vikings.
So Jules, you missed last week, and we spent a good part of the show talking about whether or not we should rest our starters and all that. And I answered the question both ways, saying as a fan of the NFL, like you would think, like you would rest the starters. You're getting basically like a pseudo bye week. Why wouldn't you take the chance to rest it? But then, as a Giants fan, seeing what happened in 2007 and how prolific that win became, or that game against the the undefeated Patriots became. Like, how do you not run the guys out there just to see if there's some way to catch lightning in a bottle twice? And what ended up happening was basically the perfect middle ground between the two. You got to rest your starters, and the whole fear of losing momentum and getting run out of the building and kind of losing that that good feeling you had around the team for whatever reason, losing that didn't happen. We got to rest our starters, and the guys played well enough. Davis Webb, Kenny Galladay's fucking ridiculous catch in the end zone. Like, there was enough that happened in that game. They kept it close enough, and there was enough big plays in that game to motivate the team even more and give the team confidence, saying, hey, listen, if our backups, our third and fourth string players, essentially, because that's what most of those guys are, they can go there and they can make it a one-score game against Philly. Needing the game is one of the biggest games of the season, and we got our starters out there. Who knows what the fuck could happen in the second week of the playoffs? So you got both things out of it just by magic. So I have a feeling that the Giants' magic is back a little bit, man. We might have a fucking fun next few weeks of our lives. I'll tell you.
It was.
You know what? I was just going to comment real quickly, since I did miss that whole thing about resting starters not playing and playing them. To me, the best way to put it is you're in a lose-lose situation, in my opinion. Really, this is how I truly feel, right? Because no matter what happens, they're going to throw that at you. The only thing that could come out of this situation is if the Giants go to Minnesota and they win on Sunday. Then nothing will be fucking said, right? But if you go into that game and you end up losing, it's going to be, you see the guys, they rested too much. They were laid back. They couldn't.
Depends how it goes.
Like that's what the who and the holla will be about, right? And then if you play the guys and then someone got hurt, it's, oh my God, what are you doing? You're a moron. You let these guys play in a meaningless game. So to me, it's a lose-lose situation unless you win on Sunday. And that's what the key focus is going to be. And listen, time's going to tell, because in all honesty, I would probably be split down the middle with this decision whether or not to play it. Because, John, I see both of your sides perfectly where, shit, remember 07? Sure, we went on that fucking run. And then, you see other times where, like, I think it was like Bosa, right, got hurt like in a meaningless game like last year or whatever. Like you hear these things happen all the time. And it's like, fine, but then I always feel like you can't play hurt, right? You can't play scared to get hurt, right? And I hate when people put that out there, because it's like, so what? Like, if it's a meaningless game, we shouldn't play these guys? Like, I don't get it. Like, they're professionals. They come out, they play. They can get hurt at any time. I mean, somebody can get hurt in the first minute of the game against Minnesota, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. Like, so, like I said, it's a lose-lose unless the Giants come out with that win. And that would have literally been my 2 cents with that whole rest of them and not players, whatever. But what's done is done. And now we just got to focus on what lies ahead. That's it. Mike, what were you saying? I'm sorry. I feel like I cut you off there.
No, I was just going to say, like, who knows what really is right or wrong anymore. I mean, back then in 2007, it was a different NFL. And this year, like, it's different. Like, you look at the Chargers, they played their guys, and now Bosa got hurt. I know Mike Williams got hurt. So that's a huge loss for them. So that looks at the opposite end of the spectrum. All I know is, like, I trust his coaching staff 100%. So whatever they decide, I think is the right move. I mean, we're going to find out on Sunday when they come out. If they come out flat, then we're going to be like, what the fuck? But hopefully that's not the case. But I do know one thing: this week leading up to the game, there'll be no fucking boat trip. That's for damn sure.
Nope.
Well, that's the other thing too. There's not gonna be no boat trip. And I guess this is the other way I was sort of like spinning it in my head over the last 24 hours or so, is that, when you have a bye week, these guys actually get time off, right? That's why you had McKenzie, where he had the injury and everything else. McKinney, excuse me, had the injury and everything with the ATV because he was on vacation, basically. He had that week off. Here it's a little different because they were still focused. They were still practicing. They were still getting reps. Maybe they weren't getting as many as they would as starters, but they were still there. They were still on the sidelines. It still was game mentality. They still warmed up. They were still like possibility they might have to go in the game. God forbid someone else got hurt. So like, it's a little bit of a different mindset versus like being on a complete bye. So it just really like, I guess if, they have one of those really good, strong weeks of practice, everything will be right back to normal, and, guys will be fully rested. Hopefully we get Ojulari back, and we have Adoree back, and all those guys, if they're at 100%, or even I'll take them at like 85, 90%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're going to be in decent shape come Sunday for sure.
Yeah. We're going to be as healthy as we've been literally since OTAs. I don't remember who I was talking to on Twitter about this, but we were just kind of going back and forth, like, friendly, like kind of amped up about what's going on. And, we are literally from OTAs, because when did Kayvon get hurt? When did we had a few guys go down in OTAs and haven't had the full complement of the team together. And I mean, not that the wide receivers are or anything like that, but the reality is, like, as on paper from what they intended going into the season to now, we're as healthy as we can possibly be. Our injury report is going to be the smallest of any game of the entire 17 or 18 at this point games that we're going to play this year. So you got all sides of the ball firing except for fucking special teams on all cylinders. You have both the offense and defense firing on all cylinders. You're getting healthy again, and you're going right into the playoffs. It's pretty exciting.
So we put in Dory Jackson on punt return? No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that, like, I would say, if there was one misstep that you can point out saying that kind of hurt the Giants as far as like what their playoff chances or anything like that, or just what happened in the middle of the season, it was allowing fucking Adore to get hurt, or not allowing him to get hurt. That's not the right choice of words, but
putting him in position,
putting him in a position where he didn't need to be, as important a player as he is, to do something as kind of unimportant as punt return. Not that punt return is unimportant, but you just need a guy who catch the ball. Like, if I could sign a contract right now saying the Giants will never get another a punt return touchdown for a punt return touchdown, and that means that they'll never muff a punt again, I'm signing up for that. Like, you want to play that safe. It's nice to watch a big fucking return, but they're extremely rare. And what's more common is muffed punts that fucking flip field position tremendously and are huge momentum busters for teams. So to put a Dory back there, your most important cornerback, it was a misstep. And everything else that Dable has done this season just feels like, from the 2-point conversion in Tennessee to just the way he's handled different players and the interactions you see that they have, the way he's defended Daniel Jones and everything he's done. I mean, I don't know how he's not the coach of the year this year. I just don't understand how he cannot be the coach of the year this year, other than the bias against New York Giants, which is very real, because across multiple media platforms. It's fucking, there's no excuse not to give him the fucking award this year.
I mean, like I said, the only two candidates is obviously Doug Peterson down in Jacksonville, because they went out and won the division there. You know what I mean? And they already got them ranked higher than us. Vegas has got them where literally they're less of a better of a Super Bowl favorite, right? Like, you get better odds with the Giants than you do with Jacksonville. So they're on their dick. So, like, there is a possibility where he could sneak in, right? Isn't Minnesota's coach a first-year coach too? He's got them at what, with the 13 wins and everything. So you never know what could happen out of that. So, like, those are the only two other people that I can literally see that kind of thing happening with, because everyone else is pretty much where they usually are. There's no other, like, surprises on both the NFC and AFC side of the ball. So it's like, whatever.
Doug Peterson, as good of a job as he's done down there, he also took over a team where you had the next Andrew Luck at quarterback and was able to get guys like Christian Kirk and stuff like that, good players. Evan Ingram, ironically, fucking Evan Ingram, that asshole, has a great season for them. And that just goes to show what coaching can do. You put the player in the right position, and maximize what he's actually good at. You actually get a good output out of him. What a fucking concept.
True, because you know what? Honestly, I wanted to jump in there real quick, because you know what? It would have been interesting to see Ingram and Kafka's offense, with Dable there and everything else. Who's to say that we wouldn't have gotten that same kind of production? It's just that it's amazing that all of a sudden he can hang on to the football.
And you would have had an actual receiving threat when we didn't before the last couple of weeks with Hodgins and Slayton and Ricky James actually playing excellent football.
No, it's true. It's true.
Because we didn't have that the entire fucking 10 weeks before. We didn't. Slayton wasn't having, it was kind of hit or miss at the beginning of the season. He didn't play at all. And we were looking at Tony and Galladay and Shepard, and all those guys are gone pretty much. Shepard will be back next year at some point, but the rest of the guys, Tony's obviously gone. Galladay's not going to fucking be here. So, and Shepard may not even be back. Who knows what he's going to be like after this injury? I love Shep, so I hope he is, but
it's true. You never know.
Give Dable the fucking trophy already, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you took a team that people had, saying that we're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 wins this season, and ran them right into the playoffs. And a lot of people, all of a sudden, ESPN, fucking NFL Network, all the analysts are saying that the Giants have a real good chance to go in there and beat Minnesota, which I agree with. Obviously, it took a miracle 61-yard field goal to beat us 3 weeks ago, and now we're healthier and playing better football. So the reality is, unless they make some kind of uptick in play, which they lost 2 offensive linemen already since we played them, You know,
Well, I think it leads us into the just great coaching staff that he has, because now everybody is looking at our coaching staff because they want to poach him. They want to poach Kafka. They want to poach Wink. I don't want to lose anybody. I don't care
Yeah.
what John Mara got to do. Open up your wallet, pay him fucking head coach's money, and keep these guys here. Especially Wink. What he's done with that defense has just been unbelievable. I know we got a lot of talent there because they're actually healthy this year, but that defense, then they must just love that dude, because they literally look like they would just jump through a wall for him.
No, listen, you guys know that right when we were in the preseason, how much I was so even before the preseason, I should say over the summer, that I was all over Wink. I said I wanted that kind of guy. I said I wanted an aggressive coach that's going to blitz you from all different angles, and I'm going to live and die with it. And now this fucking dude is God, and people will fucking put him on a pedestal, and they're ready to fucking hand him the next 8C job if he wants it. So just saying that, throw a little feather in my cap there. That I called that one on him. So yes, it's great to see. But what kills me the most is just that, you've had teams like Kansas City, right, that have been successful and been in the AFC Championship game year after year after year. They won a Super Bowl. You got Buffalo, the same thing. I mean, it took forever for us to finally get Dable to come out of that system, right? You have Cincinnati with all the success they've been having. You look at the 49ers. I mean, they gave up Salam, to the Jets. But outside of that, they haven't really given up anybody. Salami. You know what I'm saying?
You are the worst person I've ever met with names.
But you know what I'm trying to say, Robert.
Hey, that guy, that Jets head coach, Salami,
I'm like,
salami
Salam.
sandwich. Yeah, salami and roast beef, right?
Salami. That's the name of the episode, right? I mean, we have to pay tribute to the Giants somehow.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, you don't hear any of these
we
motherfuckers being poached, man. And I don't get it. Giants have one successful season after 6 fucking long, hard years. And immediately,
I know why.
Kafka's up now for 2 jobs, they're saying. Carolina and Houston showing interest.
I know why,
back the fuck off, man. When people were like even saying that, like, maybe Kafka's not even ready to be an OC yet because, he's never had that position, and now he's stepping into this role, and is Dable going to let him call the plays? And it was all that was what was going on just a few short months ago. And then when the season started, let's say we weren't blowing the doors off offensively either. And then all of a sudden now it's fucking, this dude wants to get interviewed here. We're going to take him there. Wink's been ready to run a fucking team for years. Like, take every fucking body.
Jules, you want to know the reason why that is? It's because there is a myth going around that, because, Dable's the coach of the year. Everybody's like, the job Dable's done, he took one of the worst rosters in the NFL and made that team a winner. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, give the players a little bit of credit here. Like, we got some great players on defense, right? And we got some great players on offense. Franchise quarterback, franchise running back, franchise left tackle. You can't knock this, okay? I understand Dable did a great job, but that just the whole narrative that's going around that he's taking these bums off the street and just making them phenomenal players. Listen, I'm not knocking the coaching job he's done, which is phenomenal, but you still need the pieces to make that happen. You need the ingredients to make a nice salami sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Give them both credit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking Dable, of course not. My man's a coach. He's going to be the next coach, great coach for the Giants, hopefully ever. I want him right up there with Coughlin, Parcells. I just don't want him down there with Joe Judge and Ray Hanley.
Well, one other thing you got to keep in mind is they always talk about you got to win in the trenches. And everybody, because we just had such a focus on this in Giants fucking world for the last years, everybody's focusing on that offensive line. But this is the best defensive front we've had in probably 6 years, if not longer, right? I mean, when you have that front four as healthy as they could be with Dexter and fucking Ojulari and Tibbs and fucking Leonard Williams, bro, that's one of the best front four in football. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's a NASCAR package.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's a NASCAR.
Fuck that. Fine, we need a linebacker or two, you know what I'm saying? And we need some corners, but dude, we're not missing that much with those guys healthy. And that helps, when you have that kind of shit that those 4 guys create, the pressure they create, it makes Wings life so much easier, dude, because now he can trust the fact of dropping certain guys back. I mean, look, we've watched so many times where you've seen Tibbs not rush and all of a sudden he's dropping into the flat and he's covering guys and he's covering the back in the backfield, coming out of the backfield. We've mixed and matched so much. It keeps that the offense guessing. And that's a huge part of where we're at with that on defense. That's part of the reason why the defense has looked as good as it is, and I think that with that front four, if we could just stay healthy and be 100% or at least close to it going into Minnesota and hopefully beyond, listen, it's going to be a little bit of a force to reckon with for sure.
Bro, next year, you're going to be going into the season realistically speaking, as long as everybody's healthy, with a third year Azeez Ojulari, who's only going to get better as he continues to grow. He played what, four games? He has 5.5 sacks, something like that this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think six games, but still.
6 games and 5 sacks. Okay, that's still fucking an average of a 17 sack season, bro. That's like Hall of Fame fucking status, bro. Like you do that 10 times, 8 times, you're in the Hall of Fame without even a fucking question. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. What I'm saying is that's the type of season that he's would a prorate have. Obviously, you're not going to do that, for 17 games very often. But the idea is, him on the field, he's been very good. He's only going to get better, more experience, more understanding of how to play his position. And then the fact of him being able to sit next to Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. Dexter Lawrence is a monster. He's getting Defensive Player of the Year fucking respect right now. That's not even a lie. That's been multiple different places. I've been talking about him fucking getting, votes for Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good he is. Don't forget what Leonard Williams is capable of. He's been hurt, so he hasn't been flashy, and Dexter Lawrence has kind of stole the spotlight, but he's excellent. And you have Kayvon Thibodeau, in the last few weeks, who's kind of really coming to his almost been a game wrecker, not even just like a good pass rusher, a literal game wrecker. Forced fumbles, touchdowns, multiple sacks, crushing quarterbacks, knocking them out of games. He's doing what everything you could do as a fucking defensive end, as a pass rusher, he's doing right now. He's coming to his own. He's learning the position. You're going to have all 4 of these guys a year better, a year more chemistry, all together in one shot, bro. You're going to have one of the best pass rushers probably in the last fucking 5 years, 6 years in the league.
Dude, not to mention, listen, we got a 4:25 kickoff on Sunday, which to me, like, normally I would be like, shit, I hate that. But like, now I'm fucking loving it because it's like the perfect fucking time. You got a little warm-up appetizer with Miami Buffalo at 1 o'clock, and then everybody's tuning in at 4:30, bro, to fucking watch that game, bro. Because
we off Monday.
Yeah, you're right. Most people are off on Monday with the holiday and shit. Like, yeah, with Martin Luther King. So, like, dude, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, look, you got the Bengals Ravens at the nightcap, but like, to me, when you got to wait around for like that 8:20 kickoff, like, you get kind of tired. It's like 8:20. It's still Sunday at the end of the day, but that 4:30 game or 4:25, whatever you want to call it, bro, that's the game of the week usually, right? That's the time they put it on. Like, bro, that's what we're looking at this Sunday, man. Like, this should be another one that's going to be similar like the Christmas Eve. Again, I'm not going to be the one that's going to sit here and come out and be like, Giants definitely win, bro. We're going to this game, 61-yard field goal. We had 60 fucking yards of penalties and 7 versus 2 and that. And then they had to fucking kick a field goal to beat us and those bullshit. Nah, listen, Minnesota's going to come to play. They're at home. You know what? They've been fucking like one and done so much in the playoffs over the last couple of seasons. You know what? They're going to fucking come out firing, dude. That crowd's going to be fired up. It's going to be a good fucking game. That's what I'm trying to say. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about was, like I said, resting the starters. I hope we come out fired up and ready to fucking rock and roll. Because you know what? I could see that Minnesota could jump on us early, and then we got to kind of battle our way back into the game. But you know what? Regardless, I think it's going to be a great game. There's a reason why it's basically a pick 'em because, Minnesota's got that home spread of -3. Listen, Vegas ain't stupid. You know what I mean? Like, they know it's what. You look at the 49ers against Seattle. I think it's like a 9.5-point spread. The Bills are a 10-point favorite over Miami. You know what I mean? So, like, we're right in the mix where we're supposed to be with this one.
It's usually like the, don't forget, usually the number 2 seeds, they do get like favored by like, 5-7 points. Like you said, Jules, San Fran's, opening like -10, Buffalo's -10. A lot of these teams, I mean, we'll get to the picks later, but to see that close of a spread, and a lot of people are, taking the Giants, which I hate people saying, "Oh, I love the Giants this week." Shut up. You never had the Giants back all year. Keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? keep riding Minnesota. But what John said before, Minnesota losing those tackles, those offensive linemen, that's going to hurt. You get to Cousins, you wreck him. He's not going to be able to hit Justin Jefferson for fucking 60-yard passes. It's going to be a different game.
McKinney's back.
And
Kirk Cousins throws one up fucking for grabs every single game. He threw like 3 interceptions against us, but 2 of them were fucking overturned. Some shit like that.
True. I forgot about that too. That's right. There was definitely at least 1 or 2 that got overturned.
And that's what Kirk does, bro. And he can't win the games in the 4:30 slot too. That's the thing.
he's a primetime loser. What do you guys like? What player on offense are you guys looking to have a big game? Mine is Barkley, hands down. I think he's going to run for his life, especially having that week off. fresh body, fresh legs. I'm thinking he's gonna go off.
You know, when they show Saquon, like usually it's later on in the game, third quarter, fourth quarter, when the running game really starts going and he starts fucking juking people, spinning out of tackles, and he does that thing where he just fucking roars like a lion, like just goes berserk like that. I want to see that shit on the first fucking drive of the game, bro. Now, in my heart, I love both Saquon and Jones. I neither one of them. They are fucking Siamese twins in my eyes. I hope that they both retire Giants fucking 10 years from now. I in my heart, I want to see Jones put up fucking 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, and just completely light the league on fire just for my own vindication. But I do agree with Mike. I think Saquon's gonna have a fucking day on Sunday, bro. I really do. Like
I'm gonna
40 combined 2 touchdown day.
I'm actually gonna go out on the fucking limb then, I guess, because I thought you guys were gonna do it, even though you kind of like mentioned it slightly. But
You gonna say it?
if I'm gonna pick it, it's gonna be Jones, dude.
Wow. There we
With
go.
the contract on play, all the talk, he sat off, what he did the last time on Christmas Eve, what he did against Indianapolis. Yo, I can see Jones having 3 total touchdowns, right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe pass it for around 280 to 300 and rushing for like another 60, 70. I think he could do that, especially knowing, bro, like if you're going to say that this contract agreement and talk is going to be finalized probably sometime next week, what better fucking way to do it than having one of the best games of your career and on a fucking big stage and stepping up, especially when mostly Minnesota's going to be trying to do is stopping Saquon, right? And they're going to be like, yo, you beat us again, Daniel. Let's see what you got. And here's his chance, man. And if we could, I mean, just, oh God, I'm just going to throw it out there because I'm like choking as I'm saying this right now. But like, just if somehow, some fucking way Kenny Galladay woke the fuck up. All right. Just woke up, bro. You know what I mean? And like, he just somehow steps up and has his best game as a Giant. Let's fucking go, guys. All right. Like, I don't think it's going to happen because Kenny Galladay's still dead to me. But, you know, like, just in case.
If that happens, wake me up. I'm dreaming.
He's not going to play a lot. They'll have packages for him just to rotate in with fucking.
Listen, technically, he's listed as a starter right now.
Exactly.
He's wide receiver 1 as of today on Tuesday.
Yes, Jules. I'm like,
that shit out there, bro. All right.
I couldn't believe it either, John. I couldn't believe it either, John. I could not believe it either. But Jules is right.
What do you say? I don't understand.
And like I said, look,
he's listed as a number 1 starter.
What do you mean he's wide receiver 1? I don't know what you mean by that.
So he's listed on the depth chart as wide receiver 1 right now as we speak today.
That hasn't ever happened.
Look it up. That's
the media guys that do that shit, though. That's not the coaches filling that shit out.
No, he hasn't been in a month.
Yeah, this is coming out from the Giants.
This touchdown. You see this. You see the coverage of Dable talking to him in the Eagles game on the sideline. I'm not saying anything's gonna happen, but you know what? If he shows up on Sunday, I'm not gonna eat crow because he didn't do dick during the regular season, but he's off my fucking shit list. I will forgive him. And, you know, we'll see what happens from there, considering I've also heard a rumor that this is Kenny Galladay's first playoff game as well. So Jones, Galladay, Barkley, all these guys, it's their first ever playoff game. So, you know, Thibodeau, like all these dudes, man, like this is when you step up. This is when you rise and shine. You know, everybody talks about primetime games. Well, you know what? There's nothing bigger than this middle of the Sunday fucking playoff game. And here's where you got to step the fuck up. So, Kenny, you want to fucking redeem yourself? You want to redeem your season? You fucking go out there and play like a fucking like you're on Detroit, motherfucker. Let's go. Did
you see the way the Giants team reacted when Kenny Galladay scored that touchdown? They went fucking nuts. Right. I was like, am I watching? I'm like, I was like, am I fucking sick? Do I got the flu still? Or like, what the fuck is going on? I couldn't believe it. And it'll be a magical situation. If he goes out and scores like a 60-yard touchdown, I won't know what to do with myself. I will go nuts.
I wonder if the team, I mean, I don't think the team was not excited because he got a touchdown. I also think that the way the touchdown happened made it one of those things. It's like, you know, you watch someone fucking call their shot in beer pong, usually the whole room erupts. You know what I mean? Like when you see something cool happen, usually, you know, you're going to fucking go crazy. But the fact that it was Kenny Galladay, it was like a 2-pronged thing. But I don't know. I don't think that he's going to get enough run to kind of do anything crazy. And a 60-yard touchdown requires you to fucking run fast. I mean, I can see him, you know, best case scenario, probably getting 4 catches, 2 touchdowns in the red zone because they have packages that, you know, for some reason he's able to do now. But that would be probably the most extreme situation, not a 60-yarder.
Listen,
That's more like Ricky
I'll
James.
tell you
or
this
Slayton.
much right now. And
Maybe bet it.
I was gonna say, but I'll tell you this much right now, and I don't see why you wouldn't think to do something, and obviously I'm gonna really dumb it down, and there's a lot more to it. But it's with Minnesota expecting us to run. If you just come out and you literally just do a quick little play action, kind of rise up and hit him on a quick slant, that usually gets you about like 6 to 7 yards, and then maybe you can break a tackle and pick up the first down or something like that. And you just start off with a rhythm like that with Kenny Galladay. And then all of a sudden, then maybe you get a little soft coverage and you throw him a quick pass.
Yeah, but
you
who
get
you
him
taking
into
off
the
the
game
field?
that way. I don't know what can happen. Sky's the limit with that.
Yeah, but who are you gonna take off the field? How are you gonna
Richie
let
James? Fuck Richie James. I understand he's been good, but like,
Richie
if I can get
James
what I paid for out of Kenny Galladay, I want to see it.
Do you know that Richie James has the highest catch percentage in the league?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's catching like little 5-yard slants. Yeah, everybody got to be able to catch them. I want to
There's
see
a lot
a
of players
game
that are just
breaker.
catching 5-yard slants. He's
I
got
know,
the
but
highest catch percentage in the league. I'm not defending.
I know.
And he's got a lot of drops and a lot of important drops. I get it. I'm
And a
just
lot of
saying these
fumbles.
guys have been there, and the reason why you're on the playoffs right now, Kenny Galladay is not, and you can't because of literally one play. Because you got to think Kenny Galladay played like fucking 50 something snaps on Sunday. He had one good play the entire game.
Two.
So we can't two catches, two catches, but one like
it's not enough. You're right, John.
You know what I mean? It's not like he should take away time from guys. Because think about what that tells the rest of the guys. Like, I'm not replaceable. One guy makes one catch because he's making $17 million. I'm going to lose my spot in the playoffs that I helped you get to. Like, that's not good for the whole team. There's no reason for that. Unless someone goes down, obviously that's a different story. Unless it's just a matter of 8, 10, 12 snaps as the fourth wide receiver, as whatever package is going on. And the red zone, sure. But that's probably the most extreme that I see happening, at least. I would be shocked if he's getting 30, 40 snaps on offense. I would be shocked.
Still, though, it gives you some sort of hope that maybe in the red zone and
That's
just
what I'm
start
saying,
to
red
drive. We
All right,
utilize him and we get him involved a little bit where, maybe he doesn't have a 7 for 110 and a touchdown type of fucking day. But
I can see Slayton having that though.
I'll sign up for 35 and a touchdown right now.
Jules, are you confident? If we're all confident, I could put a bet in. If we're confident that Kenny Galladay scores the first touchdown of the game, the first touchdown of the game is plus 4,700. If he scores, if he scores any time in the game, is plus 1,000.
Let's hit them both.
That might be a fucking bet. Like, I don't know. I don't know
if he's going to it's not like if he's going to score the first Giants touchdown. It's if he's going to score the first touchdown of the game. Touchdown. Yeah. And that all comes down to the coin flip and everything else because that could go fucking any which way. You know what I mean? So
but that's gambling. You put down $33 to take home 1,000 and change, $1,500. How is that not worth it?
It's what? So wait, $30 gets us how much?
$33 each gets us $4,700 or whatever he just said, plus $4,500. So if we put down $33 and it hits, we get fucking $1,500 each.
That's not
$33 basically for lunch.
That's not bad, man.
I mean, listen, that is kind of worth the $30 bet. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, you heard what we do. Kenny, you better be fucking listening.
Yeah, Kenny, you motherfucker.
Kenny, if you don't score, man.
Listen,
we talk shit about you.
This whole thing for the group tonight. Kenny Galladay is getting fucking put in there for the Twitter handle, all right? Because this motherfucker's got to listen. You know what? We're about, like I'd say, 23 minutes into this, maybe a little more. You want to listen to just that one part, motherfucker. I'm going to hit you up again.
We're like 40 minutes in there, 35 minutes in that thing. This is so cool, bro. The last couple of years having to do these podcasts and now at this time of year, we're just basically it was just the obligation of having to do it. It was it sucked having to fucking sit there. Well, I shouldn't say that. The first year we did it, the Giants at 6-10 were possibly going to the playoffs because of how bad the division was that year. So I shouldn't say it, but it was different. This is different. We earned this fucking playoff appearance. It wasn't just by happenstance that the other teams were bad in our division. We went out and we earned this shit. So
we got there's 3 of us in the playoffs. You can't say shit about our division. I mean, part of the reason why we only have 9 wins is because our division is so fucking tough.
And Washington was only 1 game out of making a playoff appearance too. Yeah. So I mean,
Washington was right there. So
they have to be the best division in football. They have to be wins wise. I would imagine at this point, because every division's got a dud team in it. I would imagine not every team's fucking basically 500 or better. You had two teams that won over a dozen games in the NFC East, and one team that, lost 8 out of fucking 17.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, listen, yeah, like
Or
you know what I
17,
mean? Like
not
this is just
71.
nuts. That's why, like, this division went from being like almost a joke a couple of seasons ago to being one of the best in football, just like that. So all you fucking NFC East haters, go fuck yourselves. Just want to throw that out there real quick. You know what I mean? And we're coming for these motherfuckers because guess what? You know what? If we could get past this one round, it just sucks. Now, it's only that sucks. Is that if we beat Minnesota, we don't get to face anyone in our division. I would hope that if we could, because you know what? When you
What do you mean? We play the Eagles if we beat.
No, we go to San Fran.
Yeah, I got the second game he's talking about.
Yeah, so if we beat Minnesota, we play San Fran because the Eagles will get it's unless the Bucks. Well, the Bucks would be what? The Bucks play
Dallas. Then they would have
right?
to.
So you know what it is? I think I got Dallas winning, so that's part of it.
Unless if Seattle beat San Fran and then Bucks beat Dallas, then we would have to play the Eagles, right?
If San Francisco beats Seattle, that's who we would play, and then the Eagles would play the winner of Tampa and Dallas.
Yeah. But if Tampa Bay beats Dallas and Seattle upsets San Fran, then we would have to play the Eagles, I assume. Wouldn't that make sense?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't really know because it has to do with the seedings and with Dallas being a wild card.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys.
Right,
We
listen,
care of
we
business.
have a real possibility.
You know what I'm saying? Let's take care of business on Sunday. We'll be okay. But I want to know, we talked about offensive side ball. I want to know your defensive player that's going to make an impact. Mine is KT because I just want to see him do another snow angel next to a hurting quarterback. That's all I want to see. That's all I care about.
I think Julian Love comes down with an interception this game.
Julian. Oof.
I'm gonna ride it down with my boy Ojolari. Ojolari. Let's go, buddy. It's honestly either him though, honestly, but like I just don't know his health at this point. It's only Tuesday, so it's early in the week. So would like to say that and see how he is come Friday with practice.
He's definitely playing.
So I mean, I know he's playing, but like, is he playing at like 50%? Is he gonna, have to rest a few snaps, or is he full go? Right. And that's the only thing that's kind of holding me back with him, because if not, my other guy would be McKinney. I think this is where he fucking steps up, and he missed the last game. You got Jefferson, all these motherfuckers. TJ Hawkinson had a fucking monster against us. Like I could see McKinney coming up and playing very big for us in this game. So I mean, I kind of did those two only because I'm kind of rolling with Ojolari because he's hurt and everything else.
I wonder if their center plays, because they have a realistic possibility where they're going to be starting I think a second or maybe a third string fucking center against Dexter Lawrence straight up. And then you have Aziz and fucking Kayvon on the outside against, I think, both second string players. So their offensive line's eviscerated right now. Bro, oh my God. I could just see them going off fucking 4 sacks, bro. It's like 8 quarterback hits, 10 quarterback hits, 2 interceptions, just abusing them. You could just see it. Like like when you watch Transformers and you see all the fucking all like the parts kind of clicking into place and it turns into the fuck. It's like that. Like all of a sudden, like everything just happens to be snapping right into place right at the right time.
All right, well, that's our preview of the game. I think we should take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get into the Daniel Jones contract situation, Haters Club, and the picks of the playoffs this week. So we'll be right back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. All right, we are back on the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike, that's Jules, that's John. Guys, real quick, you guys want to Venmo me that money right now so I can put that Kenny Golladay bet in for the first touchdown catch of the game? Are we doing this?
I'm doing this. I'm literally doing it right this second. Mike, me and you can split it if Jules doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, if Jules don't want to do it,
I'm not gonna be the only fucking one not doing it. Fuck you guys. You said 33. It's 33 3 ways. That's it.
Yeah, it's technically 33.
33.
All right,
I want the 33 cents, guys. All right, I'll put it in right now. $100 will get us $4,700 that we're gonna have to split on Sunday night. It is officially in. Kenny Golladay first touchdown score, which is crazy. I'm just putting that bet in. It's fucking crazy. But you know what? You never know.
It's fun. It's fun, right? It's all fun and games. That's it.
We're gonna listen. If we hit that bet, we're all buying Kenny Galladay jerseys and we're wearing it on the next week's podcast.
They're probably like $6 on the website right now. So.
No, yeah, I know. It's gonna be mad cheap. We're gonna get like 50 of them. We'll give them out to everybody.
We're gonna send us a pallet by accident. It's like, nah, just keep it.
You're gonna be at fucking Bradley's and shit on the rack. Yeah, guys, before we get into like everything else, I just want to shout out to the guys. We got invited to like one of the chat room, fucking in the Twitter group. It's called the Horny Daniel Jones Bandwagon, guys.
Oh my God. Can I get an invitation to that on my Twitter?
There's people in there. I got invited to it. Shout out to the people in there. You know, from being a great podcast and being a guest on ours a couple times. The Entertainer's in there. Andrew Thomas is in there. Isaiah Hotchkiss is in there. A couple guests that want to come on the podcast that already hit us up in the DMs wants to come on there. You know, Mark Masura Jr., I'm talking about you, bro. We're going to get you on very soon after I talk with the guys. And we're definitely going to have Vin come back on as a guest. We're going to definitely have the guests loaded up for March for sure. But if we get you guys on early enough, we'll get you guys on early. But yeah, I just want to shout you guys out for that, man. Horny Daniel Jones bandwagon.
I can't wait. I can't wait to have Vin back on after the season, after Daniel Jones wins a playoff game or two, and we can just replay what he said.
I want to have him. Yeah, I'll get a soundbite shot, and then I'll have him right after he signs the contract and shit. The day after he signs the contract, we'll be like, "Yo, Vin, you got to come on, man. You gotta pay your dues."
Which could be earliest next week.
For fucking everybody that's ever said a bad thing about
it. That this could be a real conversation like within a week. Like that's not like that's what's for like what everybody's saying.
See, so that's the thing. I don't think is real. What I think is real is that they're in conversation saying, "Listen, we're gonna get this done. Let's just, obviously we're gonna have to see how the playoffs play out, and then we'll go from there." And I think that's coming from Daniel Jones's end, because I think he knows, and if he doesn't, his agents do, that if this kid fucks around and wins a playoff game or two, each playoff game he wins adds $5 million a year to his contract. Period. Awesome. Stop. Right now he's at what, 26, 28, 30? I think you win and you go to the NFC Championship game, you're getting 40 a year, 38 a year. That means 2 wins means $10 million, or for simpletons, $1 million or $5 million for each win of the fucking playoffs. And if he goes and he gets to the Super Bowl, he will be getting a fucking Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, $50 million contract, unfortunately.
No, he's not.
If he goes to win the Super Bowl, he goes to win the Super Bowl. He goes and beats Patty Mahomes. He goes and beats your fucking boy Josh Blue Balls, whatever his name is up there. He goes and beats them in the fucking Super Bowl, bro. He's getting 50. They're gonna go to him. They're gonna go to him with fucking Egyptian fucking bitches that have like those fans. They're gonna have him carried in one of those fucking carriages you see in Game of Thrones. Guys like what I'm wearing right here, with like something like that.
Yeah,
sitting back there with a harem, and they're gonna say, "Please sign here. Press hard. Here's $457 million."
Somebody said 50.
Somebody said Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC Championship games. Like, go chill.
I said win a Super Bowl.
Like, give me a break.
Win a Super Bowl.
Somebody said he's got to win. He's got to fucking win. All right. Somebody the Lombardi Trophy up. All right.
Somebody said $15 million today. Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
Bro,
like,
backup quarterbacks get 12.
Yeah, Tyrod's making 13 and a half, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
15 million, sign him for 20 years then. Like if that's the whole discount. You people are nuts.
No, listen, but realistically,
CAA fucking client, bro. They are not fucking around over there.
Realistically, if I
27 is my number.
What'd you say?
27.
I actually got a little higher. I actually have it a little higher. I got him at like 130 for 4. Gets him about 32.5 million per year. That's about where I think his market is. It puts him right there in the guys like Goff and guys like that, where it's like, all right, that's about where he is. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what happens on Sunday, could change that slightly, where maybe he gets up to like 140 over 4 or something like that. But I would say that's pretty much his market. You know what I mean? Like, that's reasonable. That's fair. And you know what? That's what this type of season is done for.
I think it's also that all the breadcrumbs were there before. Like, the things that he's doing right now, he's done in spurts when the offensive coordinator and the offensive talents around him allowed for it. He's shown that he has these skills. What they've done is what I said before the season is they've harnessed Daniel Jones's abilities and turned him into an elite quarterback. That's what's happened this season. So Yeah, I mean, I think that he would. I can't see him getting less than 30 at this point, especially not because they went to the playoffs. How emphatic what happened on when we played against the Colts. Like what he's done up to this point. Obviously, you saw that stuff, and he's won games. He was the most clutch quarterback the first half of the season until we fucking lost a couple of our defenders, and the games went a little bit differently. You got a guy that fucking he can go out there, man. He can fuck around, get 3-4 touchdowns. He goes and wins a couple playoff games. I'm telling you, he's going to get close to 40. But the minimum I see is going to have a 3 in it for sure. I'd say 4 years, probably 125, like that. Like you said, like that's probably what. I don't think that he's
125 would be the minimum.
Yeah, I don't think
140. I think would be the absolute max.
I think him and Saquon are probably going to say like, between the two of us, we can't hamstring this franchise. Like if we want to be Giants, we got to make sure that fucking we're not making them pay $60 million a year for 2 players. Like that's way too much of a chunk of the whatchamacallit. And if they're great together, they'll make up the money off the field because they are in New York. And that still counts for something even today. It doesn't count as much as it did maybe 30 years ago, but what?
There's incentives, there's bonuses,
there's incentives, there's bonuses, and then you have everything else that comes along with being a New York, elite player in New York, which is millions and millions of dollars off the football fields. And then how it prolongs your career. Like, look at Michael Strahan right now. Like, people don't even know he's a fucking football player. He's just a celebrity now.
Right.
Like, if he was a Cincinnati Bengal, would he be anything more than a radio personality on fucking, FAN?
Well, I mean, look at Eli, right? With fucking doing ESPN and doing like his own show and all this kind of shit. I mean, all these guys, right? You know what I'm saying?
Eli might be an exception.
That success in New York, it trickles down. I mean, you can even go back to the days of Joe Namath. Right. And, watching him on Monday Night Football, being a broadcaster and all this shit after the fact, like once you make a name for yourself in New York, you literally cement like your after fucking career. You know what I mean?
Remember Joe Namath on ESPN ex Susie Goldberg because he wanted to kiss her?
Oh, kiss you.
Oh, my God.
Love that creep. That's what New York does to you, man.
That's what 50 years of no women ever telling you no and just getting pussy straight up. That's what
listen, and just to throw it out there because I have to, right, guys? Because, look, we can't, we got to go into Minnesota. We got to beat a good team that won fucking 14 games this year, whatever they did, right? The reality is, or 13 games rather, but still. The reality is like, look, let's say we do go in and Jones lays an egg. Does that affect him? Right? Like, it could happen, right? I'm not saying it's going to, but it could. Yeah. Right? Like, does that affect him? I don't see it. Now he does go on.
Not this team. Yeah, this team, you don't see anybody having like a letdown. You just don't see it.
What I was saying is I don't see it affecting his contract negatively. I think, it may stall things. Maybe they. I just don't think. I think they're right now what Daniel Jones has done for them, and they've recognized that they don't have the accolades that they have as individuals. Where Shane is being mentioned as executive of the year for some reason, but Brian Daboll obviously head coach of the year candidacy. Like they realize that none of that stuff. They're not getting anywhere near this kind of attention and credit and accolades if it wasn't for Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? It's just not. That's not gonna. They recognize that. I don't remember the beginning part of what we were saying, but
forget it. It's that time. It's that time of of the podcast. Hate.
Welcome all you ignorant ass bitches, critics, complainers, disgruntled rappers, and racists especially to the 9th annual International Player Haters Ball. Oh man, hate.
The Haters Club, you know it. We like to hate and debate. I'm taking this week off because Chad's been he's been involved in enough hateful fucking events. Now these guys are taking over. Jules, who do you got nominated for this week?
Kenny Galladay. No.
Guy that's gonna get us money on Sunday night.
Because you know what? That motherfucker will be on the list next week if he doesn't fucking catch at least 4 passes Sunday, all right? No, but like, oh God, I hate to bring it back, man. But breaking tackles, I swear to God, dude, like sometimes I think lately you just say shit to just say shit. My man, with the whole debate going on, with the whole talk about Kafka and everything else saying that like, oh, we might lose Kafka, we might lose Wink and this and that. He puts out this outlandish statement saying that I'd rather lose fucking Dable than Kafka. And I was like, what? And like normally I would just keep scrolling and pretend like I didn't even read that nonsense. But like I just had to feed into it. And I was like, what kind of a statement is that? And I think I even threw like a fucking GIF in there with like a fucking like somebody just being like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was just like, yeah, dude, I said it. That's right. And they came back confident. Like, yeah, I'd rather Kafka than fucking Dable. And I'm like, why? And I kind of just dropped the mic and walked away and never got a response, dude. So like, yo, for real, breaking tackles. Why, motherfucker? Come on the show. Hit me up. You know who I am. What the fuck? I can't even spin my head around that one.
That's one of the stupidest tweets I've read all year. And it's only been 10 days, and I've read a lot of them. But that's pretty stupid. I got to admit, like I think he just says a lot of things out of like, he can't be that stupid. He really can't. He's got to be somewhat bright, but all the screenshots, remember, he was one of the Daniel Jones haters that I shouted out previously from putting up screenshots. Oh, he's open here. I'm like, dude, you got to realize it's Jones's first year in the system. He's going to eventually get to these guys. The offense is going to eventually open up the more time he's in it. And lo and behold, what do you know? The last few weeks, the offense have just opened up. Magic. It's fucking magic. Football ain't magic, man. You just have to have more time in it. And this guy, hopefully you realize it. And it's funny, like, well, I haven't seen a lot of his screenshots at all. Funny how they kind of just magically went away, huh? Clown. He's a clown show. If you follow him, you're an idiot too.
I got somebody for the Haters Club this week. It's been a long time since I've nominated somebody, but we got somebody today. It's going to be Satoshi Guakamoto at Guakamoto. Great name. There's a little rat at the end of his fucking handle. I like it. But what he said today just was bananas to me. We're having another. I mean, this is 5 years in at this point. I mean, everybody's got their heels dug in, and they're never going to come off of it. But he goes, Barkley has hands of stone.
Oh,
he can barely catch. McCaffrey is a legit receiver. That dude has hands. Barkley, nah. And I just was like, bro, how are you going to say that? Saquon has a couple drops. So does Christian McCaffrey. But because you watch every single Giants game and you watch ESP or you watch fucking Red Zone when you see McCaffrey playing, because you're not watching his games. You don't watch every single one of his games.
Right.
He's out of market. You watch every single one of the Giants games. So you see the incomplete pass to Saquon Barkley. They don't show the incomplete pass to fucking to McCaffrey on fucking Red Zone. They show his fucking spinning out of tackles and scoring touchdowns on a Red Zone. That's what you see. They have a 1.7% difference in catch rate right now. 1.7. That's it.
Ain't Barkley our leading receiver? Like, what is he talking about?
He has the most receptions of any player on the team. He's tied with Ricky James with like 54, 57 receptions like that.
This is what I mean. These people should not be allowed to talk or tweet. What are they doing? What are they doing here?
You know what kills me is he brings up McCaffrey, who had like kind of an off year in the sense of that, because I believe he only had like 50-something catches, where you have like Austin Eckler, who has more catches than fucking wide receivers at 107. He's like at top of the league. He doesn't even mention him. So, like already his credibility shot down.
Right. Kind of clown show. These guys, two nominees are both clowns in my eyes. And
listen, even though, and I wanted to throw a little quick one for here. They like sort of like an honorable mention, if you would, as fan side, right? Coming through where they actually posted it. Look, they apologized. They realized they fucked up. But I was one of the first people to catch them, where they posted some shit where it said that Dale Jones's agent is demanding that he makes at least $45 million a year and all this kind of shit. So I immediately tweeted back and I was like, so he's going to make more money than Josh Allen. Just leave it there.
I think Chad Powers actually started that whole thing last week when Chad Powers was like, I'd give Daniel Jones $80 million. And then somebody come at me like, somebody came at Chad, right? They were like, $80 million. Are you stupid? Are you nuts? And I'm like, all right, now it went up to $90 million. And then he came up to me again. He said, you're stupid. I'm like, all right, $100 million. You want the price to keep going up, buddy? It's going to keep going up. Fucking clowns out here. It's a clown show out there in fucking Giants land. But
that's why we got to do this part of the segment, just to keep shit straight out there in the world.
Absolutely. You know? Plus, it's like a nice stress relief. So shout out to those bozos. Congratulations, you made the Haters Club.
Hate.
So real quick, man. The season's over. In our pick'em pool, we came in first place at 175.5.
So we owe no money. Nice.
Right. Next guy, Mike Birdie at 166.5. MFT, which is me, 163. I was right there. Right guy, 157, and so on. Thanks for participation in that thing. But if you listen to us,
we
you
get to
get the
keep the
picks
shit
right.
this year, bro. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
we made
The
our
money we
money.
get to keep, we just flipped it and put it on fucking Kenny Galladay.
But shout out to you guys. Whoever played in that, hit me up in the DMs, hit us up so I'll get you some shirts. We tried ordering shirts last week, but the guys didn't like the way they looked. So I found another site that it looks like the shirts actually blend in, but they're more expensive, obviously. So instead of getting shirts and sweatshirts, it looks like we're just going to be ordering t-shirts. So we'll get that out there as soon as we can. And moving on to the playoff picks, man, the playoff games. You guys want to go into the spreads of those games?
Let's go, man. Let's bring them out, bro. You got it up. Let's do it.
All right, I do have them up on my FanDuel app. All right, the first game is San Fran. It's Saturday, 4:30. San Fran is minus 9.5 against the Seahawks. Guys, I love the Niners. I love the way they've been playing. But you got to remember, this is Brock Purdy's first NFL playoff game. I think San Fran's going to win, but I like Seattle covering the game because, listen, they still got a great coach. He's been there before. It's a divisional game, so they do know each other. So I'm going to take Seattle with the points.
I'm going to take Seattle with the points here too. I think the 49ers definitely win. They probably win by at least a touchdown, but when you're getting into double digits in a playoff game and you're getting double digits in a divisional playoff game, that's kind of a lot. So I think that might be a little bit more like, because all the money's going to San Francisco, they just keep raising the fucking thing. I don't know how that's going, but I definitely want to go to Seahawks here. I think it's going to be closer than 10 points.
Well, John, they did lose like one of the first games early in the year. They lost by 20, and then the next game, most recently, they only lost by 8. So it's kind of falling in that. It could go either way. That's true.
Seattle.
That's true.
I mean, they are just coming off of crushing fucking the Cardinals 38-13. So
Cardinals suck though.
Look, I'm not going to override it. I don't even know if we have an override available in this playoff edition, but I'll tell you the truth, I like the Niners. So I'm just going to go on record and say that that's who my pick would be. But
to cover for 10 points,
fucking Seattle.
You think they're gonna blow them out like that, double digits?
I think they could easily win by like 10, easily. 10 covers, right? So why not? Like I can't see them winning like 30-20. Absolutely, no problem.
Yeah. I
know.
San
see it
Fran
happen. It's less likely than the alternative.
It's gonna be tough, man. All right, so it is what it is with that game. We don't have actually an official pick 'em, so we're just doing this for you guys, for betting purposes, for entertainment only. Let me just say that. Don't lose your house because we said so. All right. Next game, Saturday night, is the Chargers, who decided to play all their guys for a meaningless game and got injured. They're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. In Jacksonville, Chargers are minus 2.5. A weird game, tough game. To me, it's a flip of a coin, and I ain't touching it. But if I had to, I'm rolling with the Chargers, man. They got a better offense.
Agree. Like literally the same thing. I ain't touching it. I'm not betting that game. You could give me money to bet. I'm still not betting it. With that said, you're right, dude. But I think Jacksonville should have lost this past weekend. Not for a Josh Allen fucking touchdown return, basically. You know what? They don't beat the Titans, and they're not in, and it's the Titans playing in this game. So I think they played very well. Hats off. They had a great season. Trevor Lawrence is on his way to becoming the quarterback that he was drafted to be. But I think that they just get edged out. I think it's Herbert's fucking year with this, and I think they pull it out in the end.
I'm actually going to go Jacksonville here. And I feel like it's actually going to be a big topic of conversation, I think, over the offseason. I think that because Jacksonville wins, them not resting players and how that it's going to be the reason why they lose this game, or that's going to be the narrative that's going to be coming out of it. It's going to be a big talking point going forward. I think Jacksonville wins this game, and I think it's going to be like a 7-point, 8-point fucking win.
Wow. All right. Yeah. There it is.
There's just something about it just feels.
It's a flip
like there's
something
game. Sitting there.
There could be a flag that might go away. Something crazy could happen. Always stuff's in the NFL playoffs. All right, next game, Sunday, in Buffalo. I'm hoping DeMar Hamlin comes out and walks on the field for the coin toss, that would get that crowd absolutely apeshit. I don't care what the spread is. If that happens, and if I see that dude walk on the field, whatever the spread on Buffalo, if there's an alternative line that the Bills are minus 50, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. But as far as right now, this game, Buffalo's -9. It did start off 10.5, and it dropped all the way down to 9. So I think Vegas knows that Tua is probably going to play this game. I got that feeling. But yeah, how could you bet against Buffalo? Like I just can't do it.
I mean, for the same reasons I said before, I think the divisional game in the playoffs, it's usually you don't see them, going fucking 10, 15, they're not 10, 12-point games. Like that's not something that happens super, super often. Usually it's, it comes down to the last play. It's a, one score game. So when you see 9.5, 10 points, you get a little bit queasy about it. That being said, if, I think Buffalo's going to be fucking ready to go. I think they got a lot to play for, and I think that means something when you go into the playoffs. So I'm going to still go Buffalo here.
I'm going to go Miami.
That's crazy. Nah,
Wait, why? Because Brock Purdy and fucking San
because
Fran
of you
can't cover, but
because
fucking Seattle. Oh god, yeah, we're gonna fucking run.
No, that's not it. It's because of you.
The house out of it, shit. Listen,
you Buffalo homer.
Played Buffalo tight twice already this year. So now I'm supposed to think that they're all of a sudden going to come in and not playing with the same kind of energy. Listen, Buffalo wins, but do they win by fucking more than 10? They're at 10.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I need 11 to cover.
9. It went down to 9.
So it did go down. All right.
That's what Vegas knows.
That's what Vegas knows. Yeah. Well, Vegas is trying to get you to take Buffalo, right? Because everybody was loaded up on Miami with the extra points. And
very true.
Look, I can see Buffalo winning like by 7, no problem, even 8. But like to say that they win by double digits against a team that's been giving them fucking a little bit of hell all year long. Like, look, I thought they were going to run them the last time they played at Buffalo, and they didn't. They won on the last second field goal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you got to see it. Division games, like, if Tua is, like, again, a lot of this is stated on fucking Tua's health, right? And if he's not fucking 100%, then you know what? And he's fucking not playing or whatever the case may be, could be a little bit of a different story there. But I'll tell you guys, don't sleep on that one. That's all I'm saying.
Who's Miami's backup?
Teddy Bridge.
Fucking Teddy.
Yeah, I got a feeling like if the spread dropped like 1.5 like that, Vegas knows that Tua is going to end up starting, and you're going to probably hear it in a couple of days that Tua is going to be playing that game. So yeah, Jules is right. I just figured like he's such a Buffalo Bills homer that he would just take Buffalo all the time, but he actually had some common sense and went against his heart. He's going to go with his betting brain and go with the Dolphins. I like that.
So Mike, just hold on one sec. So I feel obligated if anybody actually is taking our information and using that in some way, shape, or form to try and make themselves some money. Caesars has the Jaguars getting a point, or Jaguars getting a point. So
wow,
it's a pretty big difference from what you guys had there. So
this is FanDuel, So
yeah, it's Caesar. So you would, two different houses, but pretty
Caesar's
big
rules,
difference.
bro. Caesar's rules.
It's a pick 'em. All right, so hey, listen, it is what it is right here. All right, next game, our game is on Sunday, 4:30. Giants, they're getting 3 points. I think we're all taking the Giants here. Actually, like we talked enough about it. Move on.
There's no reason to comment. Just keep it moving.
We talked enough about our fucking first playoff game in 6 years. We should sit here for another hour and talk about it.
I guess the only thing I would throw in there really quickly though is if you are going to bet the Giants, just take the money line. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what? If we lose by 3 again, it might suck. Yeah. Oh, I would have pushed. Oh, you're gonna be happy that you fucking won your money back. If you're gonna bet this game, you bet the money line. That's the only ad.
Plus 140.
You either fucking put your fucking dick on the table or not. One or the other.
Sign the deed over to your house. Get 2 houses. All right.
Two houses.
So next game. This is the Sunday night game. It's actually 8:15 game. The Bengals play the Ravens again. Guys, if you watched the last game last week when Cincinnati played Baltimore, it's kind of like that vanilla offense. They kind of knew they were going to play each other next week. So it was really one of those kind of boring kind of games. Cincinnati still won by like whatever, 13, 14, whatever it was. Since he's -7, I'm taking the Bengals. I don't think Baltimore has enough offense to keep up with the Bengals. And I just think this is going to be the one blowout we're probably going to see this week.
You think is Lamar playing?
Fuck Lamar.
Nah, he ain't playing, right? I haven't heard anything that.
Back. He's listed as questionable. as of today. On
I mean,
ESPN.
if he's not a healthy and running around, like if he's just back there as a fucking passer, they're done.
I think the football gods will not look kindly on the Ravens letting go of what is clear to be one of the most elite defensive coordinators in football, and just let him get out on the street. Whatever the reason was, you can't make this man happy and be having a top 3 defense year after year after year after year like this, and you let him walk. Then the football gods are going to look at that as disrespect. You're going to get blessed enough to have a guy like that and let him leave for no reason. You don't deserve to fucking go on some type of playoff run, and you deserve to get embarrassed by your division rivals.
I mean, listen, I think it's going to kind of be destiny. It just sucks that it has to happen in the divisional game rather than the championship game because of fucking Kansas City being able to sneak in and steal that number 1 seed. Because I think that Buffalo and Cincinnati are on a collision course, and it's just going to be unfortunate that game's going to have to happen in a divisional matchup. But yeah, I mean, Cincinnati wins. I guess it's just unfortunate because everybody would love to have seen that be the AFC Championship game. You know what I mean? And let one of these other teams knock out fucking KC and KC not getting the fucking easy path to the fucking chip. So whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But you know what? That'll make for a hell of another divisional game, which you go back a year ago was the whole fucking 13 seconds, and it was one of the best games we've seen in a while. So maybe that's what we'll see as far as a rematch is concerned.
All right, so I think everybody agrees, Cincy, right? That's what everybody's saying.
Yep.
Right, cool.
Only because the Ravens don't deserve to win.
Yeah, I actually really like the Bengals a lot, man. I might load up on Sunday night for that one. All right, so now we got a Monday night game, this year around, which is pretty cool. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They're in Tampa, and Dallas is the favorite, -2.5. And I could have sworn the very first game of the year was Tampa and Dallas, and Tampa won by a bunch of field goals, right? So listen, Dallas, they have Dak Prescott. The guy chokes in every game. If you think he's not going to choke in this playoff game, you're crazy. Whatever is the over on interceptions of him throwing it, I'm taking it. This guy stinks. He's not a good quarterback. I think he's terrible. I'm taking Tom Brady. Tom Brady in the playoffs. I don't care how bad they looked this late in the year, but all of a sudden, the last couple games, Tom Brady kind of looked okay. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm taking them. Let's go. I know,
I'll take Tampa Bay too, bro.
I know, John. I didn't even need to go to you, man. You're Tom Brady all day, every week.
Yeah, that's Tom Brady, bro. And you got Dak Prescott. You have a team that was playing for the division and just got shellacked by a team with nothing to play for in the Redskins, or Cuntmanders or whatever the fucking names are. When I think they put up 6 points or something like that game. Am I right? What did they? I gotta look at this really quick. The Cowboys scored 6 points. They lost 26-6 against the Commanders in a game that if they would have won, they would have potentially gotten the fucking a first round bye. If that's how you fucking limp into the playoffs as a fucking football team, disgusting. Shame on you. And Dak Prescott's going to show why he was one of the worst decisions in fucking football history.
Yeah. Jules, what are you going to say?
Oh, bro, I haven't seen enough out of Tampa to fucking ride them. I think they get this shit done. The Cowboys got too much riding on this game. Basically, what'll happen here is if the Cowboys lose, that whole fucking franchise is going to be shooken up. McCarthy's gone. There's nothing you're gonna do there. Kellen Moore's gone.
Oh, really? You think that he would be gone?
Dude, absolutely. If they go in and they lay an egg in Tampa,
after a 12-win season.
Wrap that shit up, bro. It's over. You know what I'm trying to say? So, I think the Cowboys got too much to play for, and I think they pull out the win because look, Brady fucking hasn't looked like Brady at all. He's going to Miami. 2 is a concussion away from fucking ending his career. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Not this year. Tampa's let me down too many fucking times. I don't care that they beat Carolina in a big fucking game when they needed to. It was fucking Carolina. Seriously. So, no, I go Cowboys here all fucking day long. No problem.
And there you have it. That's a wrap for your NFL playoff picks. Good luck.
That also wraps us up for this week. All right. So listen, hopefully we come back next week with a fucking playoff win and we start talking about fucking getting into that divisional round. All right. And Daniel Jones, we won't know what kind of contract he has, and everything will be fucking looking great. And the Giants will be going nuts, and all the fucking fan base can stop talking shit because we fucking won against Minnesota. That's where I'm going, baby. We're going to go in there and take it. Let's go, fellas. We'll see you guys again next week. Peace.
Go Giants.